This episode of the Gold Blooded Podcast is brought to you by MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.ag. Use promo code GOLDBLOOD, one word, to match up to 100% of your initial deposit.
Think we're done? We're just getting started.
Young almost falls down, throws to the end zone.
It will change, and I'm not trying to tell you something. It's going to change. It's not like that. Okay, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. It will change. And it will change because they wanted to change, not because of me. It will change because they want to be champions.
Smith in a gun, the ball on his left hip. Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good! Touchdown, 49! Vernon Davis with the play of his life. It all comes to this fourth down. 4th and 4 at the San Francisco 10. Ryan in a shotgun. Rodgers to his left. 3 receivers right. Ryan takes the snap. Looking, pressure, throws middle. Broken up, biting. Navarro Bowman. And the 49ers silence the house.
Oh shit, coming in hot with that dirty talk. What's up, motherfuckers? Probably should have recorded the last 20 minutes because it's getting weird in this room. But fuck it, let's roll. Hi, boys. Niners lose again. They will never, ever beat the Seattle Seahawks in the history of NFL games. Kim Jong-un is going to blow up the world before the Niners beat the Seahawks. I had a real fucked up week. I'm coming in. We're going to do a little... We're going to do a little experiment here, right? What we're going to do is we're going to do this episode, quote-unquote, sober, and at the break, I'm going to go outside and rip the rig and see what the difference is. That's my...
Quote-unquote sober? So you're not really sober?
I'm sober enough.
No, you're not.
I'm sober on marijuana products. How's that?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Haven't smoked in like 5 days, so let's get weird. Steve, do you?
All right, injuries. Pierre Garçon did not play this week with the knee injury. There's no update yet, and the clock is in my way. There's a chance he could play this week. Josh Garnett, thumb, did not play, and there is no update yet. DJ Reed, foot strain and chest contusion, expected to be back this week. Kowalski Tart left the game with a stinger in the same shoulder that's been haunting him all season long, and he is out this week. Matt Breida re-aggravated his ankle during pregame warm-ups and then eventually left the game. He came and gone like throughout the entire game. I saw him once or twice in the third quarter. It's the same ankle, a new sprain, and he is ruled out this week. I believe it was like the next day after the game they already ruled him out. So that's telling because he's been toughing it out this whole year.
Yeah,
and
I think at this point they're just like, we're not going anywhere. Let's give him a break.
Yeah, I mean he's one of our best. We need to stop thinking about him as a UDFA, and we need to start thinking about him as one of our best players on offense right now.
Agree.
Dakota Watson, torn calf. He left the game and he is headed to IR. He just came back from IR. Now he's back on IR. Tavarius Moore left the game but returned with a jaw injury. Jeff Wilson with the foot. He left the game but returned. He's day-to-day, and he should play this week. Marquise Goodwin is back with the team, and he's expected to play this week. Kyle Nelson, our long snapper, suspended 10 games for PEDs.
Sometimes you got to get jacked up to really snap that ball, Steve.
There have been domestic disputes. Alden Smith. No, I can't remember the last person that got suspended 10 games for PEDs.
It could be a masking for cocaine.
Maybe he was doing these PEDs off of Roger Goodell's daughter's body.
I mean, you got to think that 10 games. Like usually, it's a gradual progression. There was a program based on the substance abuse policy that isn't made to the public, and you go through steps like if you fail, you got to fail so many times to get that first 3-game suspension, then you got to fail so many times to get the 7-game suspension. It's like he's gotten a 10, whereas there was no build up to this. It was just 10.
Must have been very egregious.
I guess so. Okay, well, we need a new long snapper. We can't even keep that guy in the field.
We got one.
We signed a long snapper. Colin Holba. We promoted linebacker Pita Taumapinu from the practice squad. And we signed safety Terrell Williams Jr. to the practice squad.
I have a little bit of info on Nelson.
Okay.
He has been previously penalized for back in 2011 for PEDs.
Oh.
But isn't there some sort of statute of limitations? Like, that's a long time ago.
I don't think it matters. 2 strikes.
You don't like, you know how like you lose points off your license and then over a certain amount of time you gain them back?
It says as a repeat offender.
Yeah, repeat
he
offender.
received the 10-game suspension this time around.
Wow.
It's like violent crime. Just because you haven't done it in a while, it doesn't go away. You did it, and you're a repeat offender, which means you didn't learn from the last one.
So, before we go any further, should me and you address what's going on in this room right
You want
now?
to address the elephant in the room?
Okay, so what's going on right now is that...
First of all, you may have recognized the intro as one from earlier.
Last year. Joe is here, and he is so disgruntled and disgusted with this team that he flat out refuses to talk, and we're all wondering why he even showed up. So what we had to do is we needed to play a clip of him from last year to intro into the podcast today, and he is sitting right next to me and flat out refuses to talk.
I mean, everybody that's listened to any episode can make up what they assume he would say.
Right.
Well, what do you want from me, Steve? What am I going to say, Steve? What do you want me to say?
He's gone. He's shut down. Joe's done. He's had it. He's had enough.
Maybe we got to get him some PEDs before episode 2.
So, you know what, Joe? You sit there, you sulk, you be upset, and we're just going to continue on here. It was a 43-16 loss.
Rout, I think, is a better word.
Rout. Of course, I won the predictions. I'm the only one that picked the loss.
Can you explain one thing to me?
What's that?
How does our quarterback throw for 414 yards and we lose 43-16? Please explain this to me. Please, I really need to understand this. And I didn't even look at Russell Wilson's line, but I'm sure it's not.
Oh, it's nothing.
Russell
Wilson has like 4
touchdowns. He threw like 12 attempts.
Yeah, for 4 touchdowns.
How do you fucking pass for 414 yards and lose 43 to... Like, okay, if you throw for 414 yards and lose 43-35, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
How do you throw for over 400 yards and lose... And only get 16 points?
16 points. I know, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And like there was some garbage.
Pick, yeah.
There were some garbage yards at the end there on the last drive. There was probably only about 60 of them though. So if you take away 60 garbage yards, 350, like
16 points.
But when you fumble inside the 5 and then you throw an interception at the 2,
allegedly fumble.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong feeling one way or the other on that one, but we'll get into that. Start with the offense off the top. 480 total offensive yards, 414 passing, 66 rushing. We were 7 of 16 on third down. Not terrible. You kind of aim for that 50% mark there on third down. Only 1 for 4 in the red zone. That pretty much told the story of the game right there. We allowed 3 sacks and 15 quarterback hits. That's like a Beathard line from last year. And had 3 turnovers. So, par for the course for the offense. Anything standing out to you before I get into the meat of the offense?
Kyle Shanahan's uncanny ability to find running backs.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Wilson looks like a viable running back as well.
I think it's more so our offensive line is actually really fucking good.
And the scheme, I'm sure.
And the scheme. And
I heard him today talking about when you know what you want to do and you know what you're looking for, it's easy to find the right guy for what you're doing. Like if we tried to run a different type of offense, these guys wouldn't be good.
Right.
He knows how to find people for what he does.
What's so insane, just based on this, is that the amount of money that we gave Jerick McKinnon It was a lot.
Right.
Like, it was a substantial amount.
That means that he saw something different.
And the fact that these guys are coming in and looking like viable running backs. I'm not. My expectations for McKinnon, I don't think that he's ever going to live up to what we paid him. But I think that
if he's better than Breida,
like
right,
by all means. But
the only difference that I saw with Wilson is he'll put his head down and fucking run somebody over.
Yeah, he's got the size to do it. I mean, on his first play of the game, I think Breida only took 2 snaps and then he was out of there. He makes a nice contested catch on 3rd down to move the chains, and it started hot for him. I mean, he was able to slash the defenders the same way that Breida's been doing all season, which I don't know if that's really a knock on Breida, but if it's more of a compliment to Wilson. I definitely think it's a compliment, like you said, to the scheme itself and the offensive line.
I mean, what I took from this game on offense is that there are some pieces there.
Yeah.
Because we finally got to see the Dante Pettis we've all been hoping for.
Yeah, big time.
And with nobody else on the field, if he had that type of game with Marquise Goodwin out there, it wouldn't have been as impressive.
Attracting some attention and whatnot.
I mean, they clearly their whole thing was take away
Kittle,
and then after that, see what we've got. And we showed them Dante Pettis.
Early on, Dante Pettis. Can I just I cannot stand the jet sweep. I don't know how you feel about the jet sweep.
Not a big fan.
Like the only reason why I think the jet sweep is actually used is to keep defenders honest, because we'll run jet sweep motion 10 times and only hand it to them once.
I think we're okay with losing 2 yards on it.
You got to keep
for the 9 times that they're going to have to cover it.
Yeah, you got to keep them honest. But I fucking hate that play, because every single time he gets handed off to him, I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. This is a waste of play. I mean, you might as well just fucking throw an incomplete pass. Early on, the blown assignment by Tomlinson gives up a sack on a 3rd and 5, killing our opening drive at midfield. Then later on, you got Weston Richburg getting burned on the second drive, giving up a quick pressure that forced an incomplete pass on 3rd and 5. There was the combination between a penalty and a bad snap that put us in a 3rd and 24 scenario. That was fun. Jeff Wilson looking really good in the second quarter, carving up Seattle for a few big runs and including a 25-yard screen pass. A touchdown on that drive seemed inevitable until he fumbles inside the 5-yard line.
That play is the epitome of what the NFL has become. The NFL referees are scared. They're pussies. They're afraid to make a call because of this replay era that we're in. They don't want it overturned. They don't want to make a play call that's overturned. And the new thing is, you hear it all the time, just call it a fumble because then it'll be reviewed and the replay will fix if it was wrong. Which is the worst way to do it, because on a play exactly like this, there's no shot of it. It's in the middle of a muddy mess. There's never going to be evidence enough to overturn it, no matter what anybody thinks or knows. Do your fucking job and watch the fucking play and make the call that you think is right. And then let replay sort it out if there's a problem.
I'll take it one step further. How about the refs don't make a call? And they do
just go straight to replay.
We don't know what happened. We're gonna let the review tell us what happened.
And correct me if I'm wrong. They got together for 45 seconds before they said the play on the field, the call on the field is a fumble.
Right.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here.
Well,
and then number
I believe
two,
the ref threw his hat on the ground, which is an indication for a loose ball. So that definitely means fumble. But at the same time, it's like you don't want refs to be biased, but the fact on any challenge that a coach throws, the coach is attempting to overturn your call. Therefore, the ref that is going underneath the hood to watch the replay is biased.
Yeah, it has to be, because that's the whole point.
But
you're right. If there's no call and then it's just 50-50, what do you think happened here?
I feel like the end result would be much better for everybody.
That's pretty good. Now, this is the play where Shanahan caught his personal foul?
No.
You sure?
That was on defense because of Fred Warner.
Are you sure?
Where he told the ref, fuck you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later in the game, but it was on defense.
Because I heard him, and I believe what happened on the fumble was, so they got the ball, right? And they spotted it further up the field when he got tackled. But if they got the ball in a pile, how the fuck are they not down?
Sure, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. He lost his mind. He was like, during the fumble, and Shanahan usually doesn't call out the refs. He goes, which I don't believe was a fumble. If they did get the ball, why is it spotted at the 13-yard line? They clearly would have been down when they got the ball.
Right. Yeah, he didn't get a penalty on that, but it's possible that instance
was the building block.
Yeah,
but like he's right. If you got the ball in a pile, how is it not? How the fuck are you not down?
Yeah, that's fucked.
It's really wild. I mean, I guess the upside to Joe not talking is he's not going to call you out on your phone.
I guess not. He's
I figured
really committed to this.
I thought that was going to put him over the edge.
I'm wondering if we get deeper into the episode, if there's going to be some big play.
I thought that was it.
I thought that was it too.
That was like he's dying. You know he's dying, waving his arms and
he still just
boiling.
refuses to talk. All right, moving on. There was a big catch and run by Breda in the second half that set us up for a field goal before halftime. And like I said, he was in and out the whole game. And I don't know if it was because we just didn't dress enough running backs. It was like, we got Jeff Wilson, but he can't play every snap.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Then after the second half, you had the...
How about when we signed Alfred Morris and we all thought he was going to have a big year?
Right? He had that great preseason game. He did have... what game was it this year where he actually had a really good game? I want to say it was the Chiefs.
Has he even been dressing the last couple? I know he sat a couple of them.
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch. I don't even think he was dressed this week. I think it's safe to say that we squeezed every bit of life that he had left.
Well, we might be active this week just because Breda's out.
Yeah, because we don't have anybody else. So in the second half, we had the Dante Pettis shake, bake, stiff arm for the 17-yard touchdown. And I got to tell you, like, his change of direction and the bend that his body has is, like, otherworldly. Yeah. I don't ever remember seeing another player look the way he does. And I'm not saying, like, oh, my God, I'm blown away. I'm saying, oh, my God, that's strange. And I've never seen anybody run that way. It's like his lower body is made of rubber.
Yeah, he's something else.
Later on, you had Mullins. He hooks up with Kittle for a 28-yard strike over the middle. That drive was looking promising until we get into a 3rd and 8 scenario at I believe, the 33-yard line, the Seattle's 33-yard line, so in field goal range.
Yep.
Mullins takes a horrible sack, lost us 10 yards, and put us out of field goal range.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
The drive after that was one play. Pettis, 75-yard touchdown. If I had to guess on that one, I'm going to say that the corner he was facing was a little nervous about him running by him because he was covering the 9 route. He was covering the streak route. He was not covering the post. Pettis was able to get enough separation. I thought they were going to catch him too.
Nope. Shifty.
And then after that, Mullins just gets completely stonewalled on the 2-point conversion. Like, he just died. He ran into a brick wall, and then he fumbled into the end zone. That was one of our turnovers, which you can't really count that one because turnover on 2-point conversion is whatever.
Yeah.
And last but not least, mid-4th quarter, Mullins get us all the way down to the 5-yard line, mainly by a big play by Kendrick Bourne, making people miss in the open field. And then he throws a 98-yard pick six to Bobby Wagner.
That was painful. That would hurt.
You can't get inside the 5-yard line twice. And number one, turn one over. Number two, turn one over for an opposing touchdown.
That's a 14-point swing.
That's like, if those 2 plays alone don't happen.
Yeah, it's 28-point swing.
It's a totally different game. Excuse me. What I've noticed with this team is that 90% of every single game, offense and defense to a certain extent, we can compete with any team that you put in front of us. But it's that 10% of the big plays and the gotta-have-it moments where we just crumble.
Yeah.
We just cannot make a goddamn play when you gotta have it.
If those if those were touchdowns and extra points, that's 7 each. One of them was a pick six, so that's a 14-point swing. If the other one was a touchdown, that's a 28-point swing. We lost by 27 points.
I mean,
how wild is that?
The both of Pettis' touchdowns were huge plays.
Yeah.
But they didn't come in those gotta have it moments.
No.
We were already down by 20 points. We were already down by 33 points.
You got to feel like Jimmy Garoppolo makes a difference there, though.
Absolutely. And I mean,
Nick Mullins did not play a terrible game.
no, absolutely not.
His mistakes were at the worst possible time.
I would even argue that this Mullins performance was better than the Oakland game. Because Oakland in that game was just pathetic.
They're shit.
This was a legitimate game test for him. And I think that aside from the bad sack that he took, you got to third stringer, whatever, and the 98-yard pick six, which was atrocious. I would shit all over Jimmy G if he threw that ball. My expectations for Mullins are a little bit different, though.
Third string.
But he not a bad game by any means.
And no sign of him being taken out of this position.
No, not
Shanahan.
after this one. I thought maybe going into this one that Beathard was going to have a chance just based on investment because we invested like a third-round pick ain't nothing.
I think that's just analyzer talk. I don't think Shanahan sees anything that way. I think if you're a first-round draft pick and an undrafted free agent is playing better than you, you will sit.
Yeah, totally understandable.
I think we've had coaches like that before, and I think there's a lot of coaches like that in the league, and probably GMs are pushing for that more than anything because they drafted the guy they want to prove that he's worth something.
Yeah.
But I think Shanahan does not give a flying fuck what your draft number was, what your
I can see that.
salary is. I think he really does not give a fuck.
You know what time it is?
Kittle time.
Well,
No.
It's watching football is so much fun.
Sure. How much fun?
Extremely fun.
Okay.
But it's more entertaining when you have some action on the games. Guys, you've heard me talking about this for weeks, and some of you are still on the sidelines. Joe, this is not specifically about the 49ers. You care to chime in on this read here at least? Okay. Rob?
Whether you're an expert or rookie, you should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, like playing the numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay.
Pick 3 teams to win, and if you hit all 3, you could turn 100 into 600.
There's so much to bet on college basketball and football, NBA, NHL custom props, even esports, you name it. MyBookie is the one bet I know you'll be happy with all year.
Hold. Now they got NHL custom props.
That's it. No custom props for anyone else.
No custom props for
And
NBA.
no NHL games.
No custom props for football or college basketball.
And NHL is just custom props.
I think there was just a comma missed.
You think there was a comma missed?
There you go.
All right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. See, it was one punctuation changes the whole
everything.
story.
I recommend these guys because I really trust them.
See, Joe? Even Chris is getting in on the
I'll
action.
carry the torch. MyBookie has been in the business for years. They've got great online reviews, and their mobile site is easy to use.
Sign up this week, and MyBookie will give you 50% deposit bonus to jumpstart your bankroll. It's a great way to bank even more money when you win.
Also, make sure to follow at BetMyBookie on Twitter, because why would at MyBookie? They personally respond to every mention and DM. Not to mention that they've given away more than $10,000 in free money to their followers this football season. You'll be the first to know as soon as new odds and props are posted.
Don't miss out on one of the best weeks to bet on sports this year. Log on to MyBookie right now and use promo code
Goldblood
to get 50% deposit bonus. That's promo code.
Goldblood.
You play.
You win.
You get paid.
All right, we got a new co-host here.
What if the reviews of this are like through the roof?
Like this is the greatest episode.
Your ego's
of all
not going to
time.
be able to handle that.
The most prolific gold-blooded
yeah,
podcast
what if like
episode
the
of all
emails
time.
are flooding in and the reviews are through the roof and everything's crazy? Then what, Joe?
I don't know. Do you think Joe would go into more of a shell, or I mean, Joe, why don't you just say something?
I feel like he might just start like a dueling podcast with us. He might like go out rogue,
The
go solo.
the Fire Shanahan podcast.
The fuck you podcast. Hashtag fuck you.
All right. Well, last chance to get your input on the offense before we move on to the defense. Okay. Defense off the top. 358 total yards allowed, 185 passing, 168 rushing. We allowed 4 of 9 on third downs. We allowed 3 for 4 in the red zone. We only had 3 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. And, Rob, what am I going to say next?
0 sacks.
Not sacks.
Turnovers.
Yeah,
Turnovers.
0 turnovers.
It's so obvious I can't get it sometimes.
Oh, my God. Now, I don't know if you saw this this statistic that's been floating around this past week, that the 49ers, with 5 takeaways on the season, going into Week 14, is the lowest since at least, they didn't even know for sure. The correct wording was since at least 1940.
I think the lowest... I heard this week that the lowest ever was a strike-shortened season somebody had or something.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I do know that the 2016 Jacksonville Jaguars had 6 takeaways at the same point in the year, or 6 or 7, and they were the lowest since 1940 whatever.
How many did they end up with? They get hot at the end?
No, they got hot the next fucking year.
Okay.
Remember that Jacksonville defense?
Okay.
Yeah. Then then this year they went back to shit. But they did pretty much run the league for about a year on defense, except for Jimmy Garoppolo. He ran them. Defense, we opened the game forcing a 3-and-out per usual. You noticed that this year?
Yep.
Defense forcing 3-and-outs every single fucking opening drive, and then that's it. 3 straight run attempts by Seattle. Later on, there was a blown coverage assignment by either, I didn't know who it was, Malcolm Smith or Kello Witherspoon leaves Jerron Brown wide open for a 45-yard pass. I'm going to put that one on Witherspoon probably, because...
Probably a good guess.
I mean, Kello was streaking across the field following his man when we're playing a zone coverage. When you're in a zone coverage, you stay in your area. You don't follow your man to the other side of the fucking field. Could be wrong. I don't know what his assignment was. I'm just saying that's where my head's at.
You listen to Dante Whitner when
Yeah,
he's
I
on
do.
KMBR?
Yeah, he had 2 segments this week. I really enjoy him a lot.
Yeah, he's very visceral. He's very passionate.
Yes.
And he
knows what he's talking about,
He was
too.
calling out Witherspoon, saying that when the team comes out and attacks you on the first play of the game, that means they've been talking about you all week and they don't respect you.
Yeah. And
Pretty
I can totally see that. And
pretty
then
wild.
later on, one of the hosts asked him, we got so many guys in this secondary. Some of them have been here for years, and a lot of them are young, but all of them are still somewhat unproven. Talking about Tart, Ward, Witherspoon, Marcel Harris, DJ Reed, blah, blah, blah. Everybody else on the roster. And they asked him, they go, if you had to pick one of these guys going forward, who would you pick? And he said Witherspoon.
No shit.
And he said, I know I've been hard on Witherspoon recently, but I see what he does on some plays that tells me that he really could be that all-pro talent. He just needs to string plays together because, honestly, he takes plays off.
Yeah, he was saying he's got all the numbers. He's got all the size, all the talent that he needs.
He also had a lot of
work.
He also had a lot of compliments for DJ Reed, who I still like a lot. I think he plays with a lot of passion, a lot of heart. Moving on to, I like this one. 3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. Robert Salas sends 3 rushers at Russell Wilson while dropping Solomon Thomas back into coverage. We give up a touchdown there, and Wilson has about 25 seconds to decide where he wants to go with the ball. That's your number 3 overall pick that you brought in here to rush the passer.
Yeah, put him in coverage.
You drop him back in coverage?
Perfect, Steve.
3rd and goal at the 4-yard line? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on, what's that, Joe?
Maybe
your guys, Steve. Your guys.
Maybe if I talk to him, he could convince me that, okay, I understand that dropping Solomon back into coverage sounds stupid, but maybe I dropped him back to spy Wilson. Maybe I can buy that. But you want to see Solomon Thomas as a rusher. You don't want to see Solomon Thomas as a quarterback spy. Moving on.
Not inside the fucking 5-yard line.
Malcolm Smith needs to go. I hated the contract at the time. I hated that he missed the entire season last year. And now that I'm watching him play, I hate him even more.
He is playing injured. FYI. He was limited at practice today with a Achilles situation.
Okay.
I don't know if that changes your mind. I'm just letting you know.
It really doesn't.
My guess is he wouldn't be playing if our starting linebacker wasn't a giant piece of shit asshole.
The way I feel about, well, not necessarily. In a roundabout way, the way I feel about Malcolm Smith right now is the same way I feel about Pierre Garçon right now. You're not. Your time is your brief window here is come and gone. When you're not part of this.
When
future.
we get to a Super Bowl, you ain't gonna be there.
You ain't gonna be anywhere near here. He has absolutely no business trying to cover Tyler Lockett 30 yards downfield. I don't know who called that one, but that was a very easy touchdown pass for Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett. It just very easy. There was the pass interference call on Kwan Williams in the end zone. That was complete garbage.
Bullshit.
And then after that, it put them at the 1 yard line, fresh set of downs, 1 yard line, and a strong showing from the front seven, back-to-back run stuffs at the 1 yard line. Very encouraging there. I thought for sure they were punching it in on that fucking first play.
Yeah.
So anything better than that kind of exceeded my expectations. Defense gives up a 20-yard. Okay, so this is after halftime. We gave up the long kickoff return.
Ugh.
And got them all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Always at the worst fucking time with those. We give up, 3 all year, 2? And it's always at the worst fucking time.
And on the first play, the defense gives up a 20-yard touchdown run. On that play, that was bad gap discipline by a number of players in the secondary and beyond that.
Steve, I can't keep watching these fucking games.
I know, it's awful.
I can't.
There's only 4 left.
In the beginning of the year, when we were losing, it was still better than the Chip Kelly losses. It was better than the fucking Tomasula fucking losses.
Tomasula.
Like, it was... They were like, we were competing, they were playing good football, there was a couple drives that were good, and there still are, don't get me wrong. We're still moving the football some. I'm just so sick of fucking losing. I can't fucking deal with it. I rearranged my whole Sunday to watch this fucking team. Mm-hmm. I have DirecTV only so I can watch this fucking team. We use DirecTV at my house for nothing else. Everything else we watch in my fucking house is on some sort of app or fucking internet fucking TV. I literally pay for DirecTV to watch the 49ers show up and get their fucking asses kicked.
It's so hard during the season because you're literally getting punched in the face. What are we gonna go?
I feel like I have a girlfriend that's cheated on me, and I'm like, she's better now. Everything's gonna be better. And we're working on it, and then Saturday night comes, and she fucking cheats on me. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like's going on. She puts her arm around me, tells me she's sorry, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be better, and then she does it again.
If somebody came to you before the season started and said to you, listen, I know you got high expectations for the season, but I'm going to be real with you. You're going to go 2-14. You're going to lose.
Nick Mullins is going to be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, you're going to lose Jimmy.
I would have laughed in their fucking face.
You're going to lose all of these players to injuries. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. But you're like, all right, I guess. Moving on to the season after. But living it every single week is getting punched in the face every single week. I just want this fucking season to be over.
And then we got to sit through another off season, though.
I know.
Fuck me.
Well, off season for I like
it's for
the
cunts.
It's for cunts. But the off season is typically filled with excitement for just about every single team. So you have that to look forward to. Unless Reuben Foster's on your team, the off season is predominantly positive.
For cunts.
Predominantly positive. Because you got free agents.
I don't want another off season. I want to enjoy football season.
I know.
I don't want to look.
Draft.
Here's what I want. I don't want to look forward to the off season.
I know.
How about that? I don't want to look
you.
forward to the off season.
I'm with you.
That's all I'm fucking asking for. I want to be sad when football's over. I'm not going to be sad when football's over.
I agree.
It's so fucking painful. And at least last year I had the Red Sox to keep my spirits up.
Yeah.
What are the chances they go back to back?
Well,
fuck.
Come on. You can enjoy that one for a few years now.
Yeah, but the season starts and as soon as this season ends, and now I got to start fresh.
Well, they're going to be a winner. At least you'll be watching a winner.
Fucking better be. What do you got? What are you going to do? Torture me?
Yes, I am.
Of course.
First, before I get to this video, there was the Sherman missed tackle on Doug Baldwin that lets them convert a 2nd and 21. I know, I'm just punching you in the face every single sentence. Okay, here's a video. I know that for the listeners, you obviously have no viewership of this whatsoever, but this was so ridiculous that I needed to record it and not just send it to the group chat, which I do sometimes, but actually bring it up during the show.
Oh, God.
So...
This is going to hurt, isn't it?
Chris, hit the play button. This is... Seahawks got the ball at their own 11-yard line.
Play action.
Play action pass. Here comes Armstead.
Rolls to his right.
Look at Armstead.
Looks like a little bit of a hold, maybe.
Oh, is it? Armstead getting held, trying to get after Russell Wilson? Is that a hold? I think so. And what happens 43 yards downfield?
Probably a pass interference call.
That's exactly what it was, Rob.
Sounds about right.
Pass interference call by Anton Exum, 43 yards downfield. Now, Rob, when you have offsetting penalties, what happens?
Replay down.
Is that what happened here?
No.
Nope. They did not call the egregious hold on Eric Armstead trying to get to Russell Wilson.
Nope, they fucked us in our ass, Steve.
And they only called the pass interference, which was a pass interference.
Yeah, why does he not turn his fucking head around?
Once
Once you go airborne, once you leave the ground, why wouldn't you turn your head around?
Yeah.
Even if you're not looking, just pretend.
Yes.
Fucking pretend. How do you fucking not turn your head around? You're an NFL fucking defensive back.
I agree.
Rule number 1, your feet are off the ground. You should be facing the football. Period.
I think a lot of this lands on Robert Saleh. I think a lot of it does.
It's so fundamentals.
And I understand that I'm a Kyle Shanahan honker, but I'm not the only one. And I don't want to make Robert Saleh out to just be the fall guy. But God, I cannot help but see a lot of the shit that's going on with this defense.
Yeah. And I don't even know.
Repeat offenses all the time.
It seems to me like they're just not doing what they're taught to do.
Right.
And I don't know what you do about that. Like, is it bad coaching because you're not?
That going back to the Dante Whitner radio segment, they asked him about the secondary coach, and he said, "I'm not blaming that secondary coach because he's coached me before, and I know what he's teaching these guys. And these guys are not doing what they're being taught."
Terrible.
So I don't know where to go with this. You put it on the players. You could put it on the secondary coach. You could put it on Robert Saleh. I guess you could put it on Kyle Shanahan. Whatever. Bottom line is this defense needs to get a hell of a lot better, but we just got fucked there. That was a 43-yard pass interference that should have been offset by a hold.
Brutal.
Completely changed the game. And then on that same drive is where Shanahan...
I also think that shouldn't be offsetting penalties. Here's why. Because if the first one is a hold...
How do you know that you even threw the
ball?
ball?
The ball wouldn't have even gotten fucking thrown.
Exactly.
Those aren't fucking rules. Those are fucked up rules.
Agreed. And then on that same drive was where Shanahan gets flagged for the unsportsmanlike penalty. And we found out after the game it was because Russell Wilson threw Fred Warner's shoe further down the field, and he was able to quick snap us while we were trying to fucking figure that shit out between substitutions and whatnot. They caught us with like 14 men on the field.
Ugh.
And Shanahan just completely lost his mind. And then, after that, Russell Wilson has about, 43 seconds to find a man in the end zone for an 18-yard touchdown. Like, literally no pass rush whatsoever. He's just standing back there, scanning, for years.
It wasn't Aaron Donald a free agent?
Whoa, he talks!
Oh, now you want to talk, huh?
No, I don't want to talk. What do you mean? Why, when didn't I want to talk?
The whole beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah. Drugs are a real motherfucker. But wasn't Aaron Donald a free agent at some point?
Never. He was drafted by...
The Rams?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. That's all.
We told the listeners you weren't talking because you were on protest.
That's cool. It was good how I just slipped right in with, pass rush talk.
Yeah, we even paused and asked you questions a couple times.
That's cool.
one of the good plays on a couple good plays. You got Ronald Blair, who they got all the way. Russell Wilson had them all the way down to the 1 yard line, so we're backed up against the wall. And Ronald Blair doesn't fall for the handoff at the 1 yard line, and he screams through for like a 17-yard sack.
Was that the one where Russell was like running away? And
Yes.
Ronald Blair
caught
on him.
Yeah.
Like how the fuck? I watched it like 3 times. I was like, how the fuck did he catch him?
That guy needs to play more.
Yeah.
He's
Agreed.
all season long. He's been
He's
showing
clearly
up.
our top pass rusher.
How great is it? I know you did the injuries on protest, but Dakota Watson gone already after
back to
like 3
IR.
games. What a fucking joke. Go to fuck home for good. Oh, fuck.
And I believe after the play after that, Blair got almost home again, but he kind of stalled Russell Wilson just enough for Buckner to come in and clean up the sack. So Ronald Blair, every single time he's on the field, it's like Elvis Dumervil, except Ronald Blair is only a 3rd-year player, whereas Elvis Dumervil was at the end of his rope. Ronald Blair needs to fucking play more, bottom line.
Yeah.
I would say so.
I know we moved on from the offense, and I should have brought this up then, but
Probably, because I don't want to hear it.
did you hear what Dante Pettis said about Shanahan?
Calling him out in front of the whole team?
Like, challenging him.
Yeah.
And he said he's been on. He didn't say this per se, but he pretty much said he's been on my ass the past few weeks.
Yeah.
to get my shit together.
He said, I'm a 2nd-round pick, and I'm not playing anywhere like it. He goes, well, because somebody said, an interviewer said something like, what can you attribute to the past 2 games, 3 touchdowns in 2 games or whatever, and he's like, well, pretty much when the head coach calls you out in front of everyone, you don't have many options. You're a 2nd-round guy, and you need to play like it, and I haven't been up to this point. No excuses. Whether
Who said
it be
that?
Pettis.
No shit.
Yeah. He also said that you always, with Kyle, you always know where you stand with him. There's no games. It's like, if he's pissed at you, he's pissed at you.
They've all said that. I've heard that from many.
Special teams. We talked about the 85-yard kickoff return allowed to open the second half. That was brutal. The Richie James muff punt. Didn't even bring that one up yet.
He had 2, no? Or no, that was the other guy.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
No, I don't know what you're thinking of.
Richie James or...
Richie James had the muff punt that just gave the ball right back to Seattle.
Well, then the other guy had... then he had 2. Somebody had 2.
I don't remember another one.
Yeah.
I know that Richie James muffed it, and then I believe Dante Pettis had the next one after that. They swapped them.
Well, I thought...
And then the very next one, Pettis, it hit his hands and then bounced off his chest, but he kept possession. I
But
was
isn't
like,
there
you got to be fucking kidding me.
And Trent Taylor even had a punt return in this game.
No, it was Taylor. Taylor's the one where it bounced off his hands.
Okay.
After they pulled after he had muffed the first one, they put Taylor back there, and the very next punt, he went to catch it, and it like bounced off his hands into his chest. He caught it, but it was enough for me to go, are you fucking kidding me?
And now, this is, I think, 3 weeks in a row, cornerback Tavarius Moore on punt coverage has gotten penalized. This is a guy that I want to see on the field. We spent a 3rd-round pick on him this year. He was a safety in college, and we're currently converting him to become a cornerback. I don't know if you remember him. He needs to get playing time now so they know, maybe it won't go so well. That's okay.
Yeah, at least we know what
you need to see what you have in him before you need game film of him before you go into the offseason. Who knows? Maybe he just comes in and he's fucking Deion Sanders. I doubt it, but you're never going to know unless you play him.
This special team show, is this no Raheem Mostert?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. Raheem Mostert is like the best special teamer in the league. And that's it.
Yeah, all right. I guess you were right.
So,
you want to just go Beast of the Week?
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to go with my man again, Catboy Pettis. Look at those numbers. Like a real wide receiver.
Hard to
argue that one.
A very spirited effort by Jeff Wilson.
Yeah. Did he get hurt for a little bit at one point?
No. Breida got hurt.
No, but I thought Wilson, they pulled him into the tunnel for a minute or something.
Yeah,
he might have got a little gimpy.
He did. He went
came
back. He had an X-ray on something.
And Chris, can you get rid of the clock?
He had a foot X-ray.
8 receptions for 73 yards. Yeah, very spirited.
It's a big game.
Game from another UDFA. Do not draft running backs in the first round. Disclaimer. Nick Mullins, good game for him. You could have gone with any three of these guys.
Yeah, I went with Catboy.
Yeah, I'm going with Catboy, Dante Pettis. Hell of a game for him, and hopefully, this is the game that we can kind of like, if he does even a better game, that's great. But I think going into the offseason, he needed this one game
I
to
think
show.
the past two games.
Yes.
The last two games.
They put them together.
Yeah.
The fact that he's shown that he can do it, and he's the only one on the fucking field. Like, you got Kendrick Bourne opposite of him. He's not attracting any fucking safety help.
Yeah, no, he got it done. Oh, he got the tight end.
Defensive beast of the week.
I am going to go with Buckner because that's a hell of a stat line, and he's just a fucking man.
I'm going to go with Blair just because he plays about 15% of the snaps, and the fact that he seemingly always shows up when he gets inserted into the lineup in the right spots in an obvious passing down situation. If he doesn't get home for the sack, he's getting home for pressure. If he doesn't get home for the pressure, then he's eating up a double team so somebody else can.
I'm going to go with Blair, too, simply because it feels like since Russell Wilson got in the league, he's the quarterback that I've seen run away from our pass rushers every single time they get him uncomfortable. And every time I'm like, why are we even rushing him? Just make him throw the fucking ball. Because every time he runs, he gets a big play. And watching Blair run him down, it was like watching a cornerback catch him. Like,
right.
The speed he had blew me away.
The last time I saw one of our guys run down Russell Wilson like Blair did was a guy wearing the number 50 fucking 3.
Right. NaVorro Bowman.
And 52. Those are the only two guys that I recall chasing down Wilson.
Yeah, running
like
him
that.
down from behind.
So,
Chris, can I get a 40 time on Ronald Blair?
Yeah, Ronald Blair 40 time from the combine.
I want to see just how much faster than us he is.
Okay.
Because he's going to smoke
I bet
us.
He ran
and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He probably ran a 5.9.
Faster than that. 5.9 is extremely slow.
What was ours?
Really?
We were probably like
15
late
seconds.
sixes. Like 6'7",
No,
6'8",
we're fast,
6'9".
slower than that.
I thought
Yeah,
we checked
probably.
I thought we checked on the thing.
No,
We
never checked.
didn't really work it down to a
I
science
bet
there.
we ran like 12-second 40s.
Whatever it was, we were definitely the slowest ones at the combine, for sure, including the offensive
Including
linemen.
350-pound linemen. How fucking sad is that?
5.15.
5'15", not bad for a defensive lineman.
I said 5'9".
All right.
Almost a whole second. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I was in the realm, but we're going to hear you. All right, well, no emails, right? We'll do that next time.
What do we got for time here?
It's like 50.
Yeah, it's close.
All right, shut her down. Joe, do the thing.
Fuck. Oh, you want me to do the thing? I thought
Do the thing.
goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com. Send your emails. Tell us to go fuck ourselves. Whatever you want to do. It's cool. Check out the Instagram, Michael Curran, whatever. Goldblooded Podcast, one word. Twitter, Goldblooded Pod. Leave a review. Have some class. We show up here. My car broke down. I'm fucking here, The least you could do is get a fucking review in, you fucks. So go to whatever Podbean or fucking Stitcher or the podcast app on your iPhone and leave a fucking review. It helps us. Help us help you. And if you really want to help us help you, go to www.patreon.com/Goldblooded Podcast and make a fucking donation. $1 a month, $5 a month, $50 a month, whatever you can afford.
$500 a month.
That's right.
Don't
There's no limits. No. How'd you guys do the read without me? How was that?
That was fine.
Probably smooth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, fuck it. We'll catch it, on the double down. Peace.